if nothing has been announced, then I can't talk about anything. So tricky thing. Or I can just say, don't put it out.
Just say, don't put it out.
Great. Then we can talk about whatever and we can hold it back.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will wait for your okay, which will be fun because I've never done that before.
Yeah.
But I know,
it was supposed to be all announced by now, and it has not been. So
now I'm going to be bothered by things in the background. This is it.
Is this it?
This will be the...
Is this it?
Okay, turn that back on. It does
Tech
work.
support the podcast.
It is better.
You're listening to Were You Still Talking?
All right, no yawning. We're going to start.
Okay.
Hey, welcome back. This is Joel Albrecht. And, this is Were You Still Talking? That's what it is. I don't wear glasses. What am I doing? And I am here actually in the studio today. We're in our studio, even though it won't look much different because it's still using Zoom for the video. But this is literally my studio, and I have Taylor Morden here today, who is a superstar in the directing world. He's directed actually more movies than I thought. He has quite the list on IMDb. He lives very nearby, which I was shocked about when I first found that out. But he's done, for instance, the last blockbuster, Getting Lost Doc, a new movie which we're going to talk about, but then this won't be released until I know we can talk about it. There we go. Welcome in. Thanks for coming.
Oh, thanks for inviting me over.
Yeah, always. I'm excited. I went to look at the previous podcast and I could not believe it had been 3 years.
Wow.
Or almost 3 years. It was November of 23.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That's a while ago.
It is. And you hadn't even had the Getting Lost doc out yet.
No.
Yeah. So
I've finished 2 movies since then.
Wow.
Almost 3.
Wow.
I try to do 1 a year.
Uh-huh. That's awesome. That's really awesome. I was all excited to... You were still working on the Lost documentary, and I'd never seen it. So after I saw it, I was like, oh man, I really want to have him on the podcast again. But it was kind of too close. And now it's been a minute. A minute. So great to see you. So are you you pretty much do a movie a year, right?
Yeah, it averages out, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, my first movie came out in 2017. And I mean, if you don't count the COVID years, what is it, 2026 now?
Oh my God.
I've made 7 movies in 9 years, and there was a pandemic in there. So that's pretty good.
I agree. I don't think you can count the COVID years.
No. I did do a feature-length shot-for-shot remake of Back to the Future 2 during the COVID lockdown. So on my IMDb, that counts as a feature. And so that's maybe 8 in 9 years.
Hold on. I didn't know about this. You did a shot-for-shot remake of Back to the Future.
I produced it. It was crowdsourced from people all around the world. I think 150 people from 13 different countries, and everybody recreated, a few seconds of the movie. But it was during lockdown in 2020. Yeah, in 2020, and it was, people were stuck in home, nothing to do, scary world. We were all very depressed, and creative people needed creative things to do. And I just organized this thing where many people I knew in Oregon and just my friends, but also strangers from around the world got together and made, 30 seconds of Back to the Future 2 using, their cat or a banana or, cardboard or a styrofoam DeLorean that they'd made or whatever. And then I stitched it all together and, added the music and the special effects and whatever needed doing so that it was a cohesive thing. And then we did like a virtual premiere and it was very COVID-y, but it was very fun.
Very COVID-y.
It was recognized by the Academy Awards.
Was it really?
Yeah, they did a thing, also very COVID-y, but where they did like a montage of all the great art that was being made in lockdown, and It was, they were famous movie stars doing script readings and bands doing, living room concerts. And then there was us making Back to the Future 2. We'd like to thank the Academy.
And there was a remake of Princess Bride.
Yes.
Did you ever see that?
Yeah, that was around the same time.
Yeah.
There's also a Shrek one, a Star Wars one. There's many of these.
Oh, okay.
It was not an original idea.
Right.
It was just, I like Back to the Future too.
And then later, so is that your DeLorean that you were using in your new film?
No, I can't afford a DeLorean. I'm an independent filmmaker.
Do you know what a DeLorean costs?
Yeah, I know exactly. I've been tracking the price of DeLoreans since I was 15 years old. I test drove one. My first car that I bought was a 1998 Subaru Outback, and I test drove a DeLorean instead of that. And at the time, they were roughly the same price. Now, a 1998 Subaru Outback is $300.
Right.
And a DeLorean is roughly $100,000. So they have diverged.
No idea they were that much now, because
in the 28 years since.
Even recently, they must have gone way up, because
It depends on the condition.
Yeah.
You could maybe snag one for $40,000 if it's needs some work. I've seen some that don't have a transmission that are $30,000.
Wow.
But a good one in good shape, low miles, easy 80, 90, 100, 110. If it looks like a time machine, they're, if the people have added the fins and the lights and all that, it's 110, 120.
Right. Wow.
They go for a lot.
Yeah, they do. That's surprising.
And every once in a while, somebody still finds one in a barn, that their uncle had or something, and it's in mint condition. But mostly they get crashed, and then the value of all of them goes up, because there were not that many, just a few thousand.
Okay. Yeah, I was around when those were being made, and I didn't even know they made it. I thought they made less than a few thousand. It wasn't a very successful car.
No.
For a few reasons.
Well, it was after Back to the Future came out.
Of course.
Is the thing. It wasn't at the time. So they came out in 1980 and 1981, and Back to the Future came out in 1985. So there was a window there where it was a real stupid car that nobody wanted. Mm-hmm. And you could probably get a DeLorean in 1984 for $50.
Probably.
Yeah.
A few hundred anyway.
Yeah. And then in 1986, high demand.
Yeah.
So
crazy.
Movies have an impact on the value of things.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
As it turns out.
Yeah. Any 67 Mustang's worth a ton because of some old movie.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think it's an ambulance that they turned into the Ghostbusters car, a vintage.
There's one here.
Yeah.
I don't think it was in the movie, but somebody made a replica of it.
Yeah, and nobody would care at all about a mid-90s Jeep, whatever, except if you paint it lime green camo and put a Jurassic Park logo on the side, it's an iconic movie car.
That's right.
Otherwise, it's a 90s Jeep.
I always forget about that, which is not their best efforts.
No, it was a weird car at the time.
Yeah,
and
it's a weird car at the time. And there's a lot of those around here, too. There's someone that I think owns more than one in Eugene.
There's a storage facility that is Jurassic Park themed that has a life-size T-Rex and a bunch of velociraptors.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that.
It's very cool.
All right.
Eugene's a fun town.
Eugene is a fun town.
Are a lot of your listeners from Eugene, or is this a worldwide thing?
It's worldwide.
We're talking to Switzerland here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, actually it is.
Hello.
It's just because of the audience for my other activities when I go online and fly planes and people watch from around the world. So
cool.
And I've had my guests are from all over the world.
Very cool.
Another COVID, a good thing came out of COVID because, I couldn't really have people over here to do a podcast, and who would want to? So I discovered a couple of places that have podcast guests. Actually, I discovered one. Later, I discovered another. And they're from all over the place. And it's amazing, especially the people. I like the ones that have kind of traveled the world and have a totally different outlook than most everybody, because they've been everywhere. I just had 2 days ago, I had a stunt woman who now lives in Vancouver and tries to get work in Portland, but she's been doing stunts and acting and production work for 26 years, and also loves, like, her second big love is just traveling and doing really hard stuff, climbing mountains, hiking, and she's doing stunts is not easy. So,
right.
I'm excited for that. So
that's very cool.
Yeah. And people are always asking me about my audience, and I'm still waiting to hear from them.
You haven't heard from your audience?
Not a lot.
Hey, bozos, call in.
Not a lot. Call in.
867-5309.
Leave a something. Comment. That's what they're called.
Tweet.
Anyway, so when I had you on before, we talked briefly about the documentary for Lost.
Sure.
I have now seen, I think I did a third watching of the entire series.
Great.
I've seen the documentary twice.
Great.
I was going to try and get in a third time before this, but it didn't work out. One thing I found out watching that documentary that I had no idea about was there are super fans and Losties. Is that the
Losties? Yeah.
Losties. So I can't imagine I'm anywhere close to being a Lostie, but
I mean, having seen the whole series 3 times, you're getting close, at least. Most humans haven't watched it all even once, so.
Well, I guess I wouldn't say most humans. Wasn't it the biggest show?
It was the biggest show
on air at the time.
It was the biggest show in the world for some stretch of time, and any given week, 20 million or so people tuned in. But there's 9 billion people on the planet. So 20 million is, when I say most people haven't watched it, I mean most people. 20 million is a lot of people. And by today's standards, a TV show comes out, and if 2 million people watch it, they're very happy.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, the last Colbert got 6.7 million.
Yeah.
But
it was the biggest TV event of the 6 months.
Right. That was a huge thing. So, yeah.
Yeah, the 20 million is Super Bowl numbers.
Right.
It used to be just weekly network television.
When there was 3 stations when I was a kid, 20. You needed millions of viewers. Now you don't.
Yeah. Lost was
crazy.
That was sort of the premise of the documentary. In my mind, it was such a pivotal show at a place in time because it was the last of those. Right. Cable was whatever. Streaming was just beginning. But the networks were still very strong. You had Lost, Grey's Anatomy, 24. You had these huge shows that everybody watched. American Idol, right? This was that time in television that there was a show, The Office. These shows were on, and people would everybody was watching. You could go to a stranger and you could talk about one of these shows. And this was the very last gasp of their power over pop culture. At the same time, it was the very beginning of social media and talking about a show on the internet and the way that we now interact with television, with movies, with everything that's created. And for better or worse, it's created that sort of personalized, segmented entertainment landscape that we now live in, which is you and I could be watching the same show, but we're going to be watching different episodes. We can't talk about it. You're on episode 9. I'm on episode 2. I don't even know which things are going to be spoilers for me. And we can't, have you seen this show? No, it's this streaming platform, and I don't have Bleep Bloop. Do you have Bleep Bloop Plus? And no, because I only have Blip Blop Plus, and I can only have 6 streaming platforms because I'm not a bajillionaire. And that's the world we live in now. It used to be everybody had ABC because if you had a coat hanger plopped into your TV, you had ABC. If you had a TV, it came with. Anyways, the premise is there's never going to be a point in time like that again because that was the end of network television and the beginning of internet television. And that was the convergence. And this was the biggest show in both mediums at the same time. It was the very first show available on iTunes.
Oh, wow.
At the same time that it was the #1 show on the #1 network on broadcast television. So that's sort of to give you a sense of the place and time that television program existed. And it was the most talked about thing on Twitter when Twitter was brand new. Twitter didn't exist when Lost started. And then they were live tweeting the show by season 4.
Wow.
YouTube didn't exist, and then it did. And Facebook didn't exist, and then by the last season it did. These are the transitions that happened during the show. Also, the first 3 seasons of that show are 24 episodes long. Every show was that, except for British shows. And then by the end, they had negotiated it down to 13, 14 episodes. Now every show is 13, 14 episodes at most.
At most.
Or 8 or 7, But even network shows are very truncated. So, when I say that it changed the television landscape and impacted the way we consume media, it's not hyperbole. I did the research.
Right.
I spent 4 years looking into it. But yes, there are super fans all around the world. I was one of them. Mm-hmm. And I met many of them, 20 years ago. And that's how I came to make the documentary. And it's good to know that you're almost one of us.
I'm working on it. I'll have to watch it. Now, would watching the documentary count? Would that get me closer?
Oh, yeah. Of the 20 million people that watched Lost, a very small percentage have watched the documentary, and an even smaller percentage have watched it twice. So.
Oh, I had to watch it again right away. The first time I saw it was at the premiere.
Oh, great.
Yeah. That was the first time I'd seen it. So I saw it on a big screen. It was exciting. Had your stories with it. Yeah. One of which was, this is kind of blew me away. You really started out to make a film about fans, right? Yeah. And then it changed.
Yeah. Well, so like I said, I was a giant fan of the show, and I knew this fan community. My good friend Ralph, who produced it with me, I met through the show. Mm-hmm. He had a podcast back. Also,
he's cool. He must be really cool.
He's very cool. But podcasts were invented during Lost, and at the very beginning, we get into this in the doc, but in the special features on the Blu-ray, there's a much longer podcasting segment. But when Lost first came out, by season 2, podcasts had sort of become a thing, but only nerds could figure it out because you had to physically download it onto an iPod. We didn't have smartphones, ladies and gentlemen. We couldn't push podcast.
So you had to download the podcast
onto a computer.
Music.
Yes.
Like the early days of...
It's like pre-iTunes. You'd go to a website, download an MP3 file, transfer it through a USB cable to a device, and then you could listen to it while you walked your dog. It was amazing. It was the future.
And then you'd have to delete the file because it was too big. You wouldn't want...
Yes, they were huge because you had songs that were 3 megabytes, and then you had these podcasts that were 90 megabytes, and your iPod only had 400 megabytes. So 3 podcasts max. But at the time... I think we had a graphic. It's not in the documentary, but it might be in the special features. But there was a window in the first couple of years of Lost where something like 7 of the top 10 podcasts of all podcasts were Lost podcasts.
Wow.
On iTunes or wherever people got podcasts, because it was podcasts were for nerds. Lost was for nerds, and it was the thing, and it was sci-fi, and not that many people were making podcasts, and it was such a talked about show. Talking about it was so much of the fun that podcasts were the perfect medium to just sit around and go, well, what do you think is in the hatch? And what do you think the polar bears mean? And what do you think about the numbers? And did you guys see this? And did you guys see that? So Lost podcasts, for many people, is how they discovered podcasts. Because you would go to the forums, before social media, we had message boards and forums, and you would go and read and blogs, and people would dissect these episodes. and you would read about it, and then there would be a link that says, listen to this podcast. And you'd be like, what the heck is a podcast? I've never heard of this thing. And then you would download people talking about Lost. And that's how I discovered podcasts. And I know a lot of people discovered podcasts that way, but that's how I met my friend Ralph. And what we knew is that even just that was an interesting story. Like what I just said about this is a TV show, sure, but this is how we met all our friends, and this is what was happening. And people, young people today, and even just people who weren't so tech savvy, have no idea that that's what was going on. It was so segmented, and it was so, tied to this television show. It doesn't make any sense that this technological advancement was that intertwined with, Josh Holloway walking on a beach without a shirt on. But it was. That's.
You're giving away so many spoilers. What if no one's seen Lost?
Spoiler alert, there are attractive people on a beach.
Lots.
It was a TV show. Also, Baywatch was a big TV show. Similar reason. But what we set out to make was that story about these fans that met each other, that came together around a TV show and are still friends to this day. And that's an interesting story. And we had the access. The big part about documentaries is access. And that's what we had. We knew, maybe we could get one actor from the show to chime in about the fan base, and that would be cute. But mostly we knew these fans and their stories, and we knew that people had met and gotten married and had children because of this TV show.
Oh, wow.
And that people, were lifelong friends because of this TV show. People got jobs, good jobs because of this TV show. People were working in Hollywood because they listened to a podcast about a TV show and then met somebody and then got hired to do a thing. And those are all very interesting stories. And to make a documentary for Lost fans, that's interesting, and they would watch that. So we're like, okay, we'll make that. And then we talked to we knew Ralph had done a podcast with Jorge Garcia, who plays Hurley on Lost. So we knew we would have access. We had asked in advance, would you be a part of this documentary? So we had one cast member. Like, this is fun. We'll do that, and we'll talk to all these fans. And he kept having to reschedule because he's a famous guy. So we tried to book other people, and people who had maybe worked on the show tangentially, or maybe were a guest star in one episode in season 5 or something. And it was slow going, but eventually word starts getting out about what we're doing, and by the time we get to interview Jorge Garcia, the cast is like talking about like in their group texts, hey, do you guys hear about this documentary that these fans are making? No. Are you going to be in it? Are you going to be in it? Do you, and we had like a wish list. Wow. Wouldn't it be cool if we could talk to so-and-so and so-and-so? That'd be real neat. And it kind of was gradual, but also not that gradual when it turned from being this thing about the fans, for the fans, by the fans, to, well, I guess we're just going to make the official Lost documentary, right? We're going to talk to the cast and the showrunners, and eventually we got all the way up to J.J. Abrams, the creator of Lost, and also director of some Star Warses. So
some Star Warses. That isn't a Star Trek.
That is not what we set out to do. It's crazy, but there is like a Google Doc somewhere from our first meeting that was like, wouldn't it be crazy if, and all those names are on a list.
Wow.
And barring a few people that politely or less politely declined to be in the documentary, everybody did. So now it's jam-packed and overloaded with the cast of Lost and the people who made the show. And it felt like we were really making the official retrospective, or the,
right.
The companion piece, the 20-year look back. It was crazy. It was not something I thought I would be able to, as a fan of the show. outside looking in for all these years, it was wild for the 2.5 years we were filming it. We just, every once in a while, just pinch yourself and be like, I guess today my job is to sit across from Evangeline Lilly and ask her questions about my favorite TV show.
That is so awesome. Did people start contacting you, or did they just start returning your calls or texts, or
both?
Both.
Yeah. It was a mix of both. Mostly returning, because when we made that list, we sent an email to everybody that we could dig up an email address for.
Oh, awesome.
Because why not?
Yeah, why not?
I mean, I've made enough documentaries to know that if you ask 100 celebrities to be in your documentary, 2 of them will. Those are about the odds.
Well, you've contacted a lot of people then, because you have a few celebrities in the 3 documentaries that I've seen, unless I'm forgetting something. And you traveled to them, basically?
Mostly, yeah, because I live in Eugene, Oregon, and
they did not want to come to Eugene. And
there aren't that many celebrities in Eugene, Oregon. There are no unless you count the Ducks, the football folks.
There are some outlying celebrities.
People
who
live
through. Outside of Eugene, a few miles.
Yeah.
Some pretty big celebrities, but yeah.
No, listen, you and I are in the top 50. That's how Eugene's doing. So
yeah. No, I have the same.
But we travel for all the documentaries. Yeah, we go to LA and New York mostly. For the Lost one, we went to Hawaii a couple of times, which, listen, it's not a bad way to travel for work. And my wife and I had a list of ideas for documentaries, and that was the one where we would get to go to Hawaii and write it off on our taxes. So it kept moving up the list of, we should have Lost documentary. That's a good. But really, it was because the 20th anniversary of the premiere of Lost was coming up. And so when I contacted Ralph, it was 2021.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because the 20th anniversary was September 2024. And our goal was to premiere on the day, September 22nd, 2024. And we did it. We had our big screening in LA with the cast and everybody there. We did it by the skin of our teeth because, like I said, people kept saying yes way later than we thought they would. And that J.J. Abrams email, I think it was an email that's like, hey, this is J.J. Abrams. I want to be in your movie, which seems like a very fake email to get.
Right. I would have wondered.
Yeah. But that came like a month and a half before we were supposed to premiere the movie. The movie was mostly done.
Yeah, weren't you almost done with the edit at that point?
No, I had to go just open everything back up and fly to LA and boohoo, hang out with J.J. Abrams.
Yeah, oh, that's rough. And it's also very cool that the people showed up that were in it for the premiere.
Yeah, that's a lot of them did.
Really awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a really, really, really fun night. A lot of fans from all around the world got together. We had gatherings on the beach the day before, and it was a whole weekend thing. And the theater in LA was pretty cool. They let us do a lot of Lost things. We had like fish biscuit cookies, and we were in touch with somebody who was working on a Lost museum exhibit, and she had the polar bear from the pilot episode.
Oh yeah.
The actual,
awesome.
It's 9 feet tall. And she brought it. It was in the lobby at our movie premiere. People were taking pictures with the polar bear. We had people in Dharma jumpsuits, and like 5 or 6 cast members from the show were there, and it was great. We did a Q&A, and what a fun time. Movies are neat.
Movies are neat. That is the byline of this podcast now, this episode. Sure. Movies are neat.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Was there anything else I left off on there?
About Lost?
Yeah, about Lost. I'll just try. Do you have a favorite person that you interviewed? Was there anybody
of all time?
Sure, of all time.
No, I don't have favorites. I would say from the Lost one, Michael Emerson, who plays Benjamin Linus on Lost, was... I mean, I had heard he was like the nicest person in the world, but it's shocking how lovely of a human being this man is. And that was one of the ones we shot in New York. And, you know, New York is notoriously filled with grumpy people who are always in a hurry. And
right.
He was just the kindest, most wonderful human being. It was just so lovely to spend time with him. And that was very joyful. But the thing is, when you do this kind of a project, by the time somebody has said, sure, I'll be in your documentary, and taken time out of their life and either invited you into their home or come to a studio or, you know, made the arrangements to sit down and chat with you for hours sometimes, they want to be there, and it's fun, and everybody's on the same page. It's not like we're paying people exorbitant amounts so that they would, you know, begrudgingly be there and talk about this thing. Like, it's always positive.
Right.
You know,
right.
We're not doing a hard hitting, you know, 48 hours expose about it's for entertainment purposes only. You know, we're doing this thing that... My favorite thing about my job, in quotes, is with these pop culture documentaries. I did one about ska music. I did one about a band called The Refreshments, one about Build-A-Bear Workshop, one about The Last Blockbuster, and one about Lost. I'm talking about things that I love with people who also love these things.
Right.
What a fun way to spend an hour, you know?
Yeah.
You're just making people smile and, hey, remember that time you were on that show and you had to build a raft and go out in the thing? That was cool. And then they smile and laugh and go, that was cool. And we try to get a story out of it, but who cares? We're having fun.
And that seems like the hardest part is I saw the show, the documentary, and it's like, okay, you talk to these people for at least an hour. And
some 15 minutes. It depends.
Okay.
You know,
but that's
not everybody has a lot of free time.
Well, that's what they say. But it just deciding like how to edit that. That must be.
It's impossible.
Yeah.
We've been doing a little bit of on our Instagram and our Facebook and our YouTube, just releasing more and more little anecdotes from the extra footage, and it just reminds me how much more we filmed than what's in the movie. But that's really fun too, because we have years of content of stuff that didn't make it into the movie, and there's hours on the DVD, right? Because I'm that's my era of movies, is DVD bonus features and all that. So I don't like to leave things on the cutting room floor, because the rough cuts of these documentaries are usually 3 to 4 hours long. So the first iteration, I'm not that picky. Like, anything that's a good story is in there. And then when we cut it down to 2 hours or less, I don't throw that stuff away. I just put it on the DVD.
That's the wonderful thing about today's filmmaking. It's not, I mean, when they talked about leaving things on the cutting room floor, it literally used to mean that.
Yeah.
Right. They would leave a piece of film. They would throw it away.
Sweep it up.
Some janitor would take it.
Crazy.
And maybe they would keep it. But yeah, occasionally things are found. But now it's so great that you're really not. You're just storing it somewhere else. You're just cutting it out of that piece. And I've been watching those little bits on Instagram, and I always wonder, was that in the movie?
Right.
I'm not
some
sure.
are, some aren't. It's all. Or a lot of times it's just the longer, you know, because in the movie it'll be a 30-second thought. Right. And so on Instagram we'll put like the rest of it. So it's like the full minute and a half before and after or something like that, because some things we just had to cut down for time.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it's like, it's interesting to listen to somebody tell a whole story, but you can't just stop a movie in the middle and listen to somebody's story. I wish, you know.
But that's what podcasts are for.
That's what podcasts are for.
It's literally what podcasts are for. I mean, it was interesting hearing you describe a little of the history of early podcasts, because no one knows. People still don't know what a podcast is. Honestly, a lot of people have no idea.
That's
like,
crazy.
All the time. I'm like, I got a podcast. What's that? And yeah, to me, it seems like a really big thing. I mean, you know, people who used to make Star Trek movies are like starting a podcast together.
Yep.
And but it's crazy, because what you were talking about is how I started, you know, and still doing, where it's just people getting together and talking about their favorite things. And there's no crew, there's no, you know, editing bay, there's no, and the podcast that most people see now, they're done like TV shows almost. They have a crew of 100 and they have an editing suite, and it's just wild. But yeah, so when I think of podcasts, I think of the early days, which it literally was just anyone who could figure out the technical part.
Yeah.
And put it together and put it out
there's
there.
some great, we had a lot of footage. So we were also given a hard drive full of footage. There was this guy named Alex was making a lost podcasting documentary in 2008.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
But he never finished it.
Uh-huh.
So he just gave us all the raw footage. So most of our archival B-roll and A-roll, like just crazy footage, is from this unfinished documentary, but it's all podcast related, because there was going to be a lost podcast documentary in 2008 or 9.
Wow.
While the show was still on TV. But that's how big this community was. Mm-hmm. And you talk about how different it was. I watched all this footage, and there are people recording these podcasts like into, they didn't have phones, like into like a flip phone.
Oh yes.
Like they didn't use fancy microphones because they didn't have it, and they would have, you know, any which way you could record audio. I mean, you're talking like tiny little digital voice recorders, and they would hold it and do this. They would use a telephone and voicemail, and just the technology was the Wild West. Anything goes. Mm-hmm. And just figuring out how to get a podcast hosted was the barrier to entry. Right. Because there weren't these platforms that there are now that make it easier, user friendly. And it was expensive, and it was difficult, but somebody had put together like a master list of lost podcasts. So there was one feed, an RSS feed or whatever the thing was at the time, where you could download all the lost podcasts. So all you had to do was get onto that list, and then you had an audience. And like I said, there was a huge audience. Like all the top podcasts were lost podcasts, like above like the NPR ones and the
that's
sports
amazing
ones. It was wild. It was a crazy time. But podcasting has come a long way, and it's an incredible story, the journey of podcasting. A very good friend of mine just finished a documentary about podcasting that tells this exact story. It's in the festival circuit right now. It's not out yet, but people should keep an eye out for it. It's called The Age of Audio.
Oh, awesome.
And it'll be out soon. A lot of familiar faces. All the big names in podcasting are in it, and really, really cool stories, you know, where it came from and how difficult all this stuff is. They don't talk about Lost in it, which is weird to me.
Yeah, that's weird. But it's good. The whole bit about that you're saying, even that we have this phrase, all the big podcasters. 10 years ago, you would say that, and people would be like, "Well, like who's a big podcaster?" Literally, 10 years ago,
it was just Ira Glass and Kevin Smith.
And no one knew where Kevin Smith was.
Right. Well, it was like he talks, but what's a podcast?
But what's a podcast? Where do you go that? and I was lucky when I started because they had, like you say, the aggregate, sites to put them out everywhere. But it's the same thing. It's still an RSS feed.
Oh, okay.
So if you don't want to spend a few dollars a month and have it automatically put everywhere, you can do it free as long as you can figure out how to make an RSS feed, which I don't know how to do. But the place does it for me. But It's like if you know how to do it, probably there's places just to do it. And then you could literally individually put it up on, all the sites yourself if you wanted to.
If you have hosting.
Yeah.
No, I know that's still possible. What people really love is podcasts about podcasts.
It's true.
That's what we're doing.
Well,
podcasting about podcasting. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Podcast About Podcast.
There's a lot of them out there. It was one of my original ideas, is to have some. I don't do it as much, but have some thoughts about podcasting. Yeah. When I started 6 years ago, it was probably a tenth of the podcasts that there are. It's probably grown 10 times. It's
blown up so much.
Yeah.
But it's like when the main character in a book or a movie is a writer. You're like, oh, you didn't dig that deep for what job.
Couldn't think of what else.
You couldn't think of a second job.
I never thought about that because.
Oh yeah, it happens all the time.
Oh, so many detective novels.
What's
the main character he's a writer. Yeah. He writes detective novels, and then he goes out and solves crimes or something. Yeah,
I just finished the show Hacks.
Oh yeah,
great show, but it ends. And I had to look it up because I was like, I think this is the most common ending in television. It's not really a spoiler, but it's the most common ending in television. One of the characters ends up writing the show that is the show.
And here's why it's not a spoiler, because, if I was going to guess how it ended, that would have been my guess. Right. I was a little...
They're a TV writer.
A little disappointed. And
well, I mean, there's many other things happen, and that's not the main
it's true.
Ending of the show. But like... That's been the ending of shows that have writers in them since the dawn of that concept. I was like, hey, wouldn't it be funny if they ended up writing the show you've been watching this whole time? Woo. I think we need a second idea for what job main characters could have.
At least they weren't dead.
Hey.
That's a lost joke, but you have to know
That's a lost joke.
Lost on me. And so you have a new movie.
Sure.
That we're holding this podcast until it comes out. Tell me about the new. I couldn't even watch the teaser because the pin didn't work.
Dang it.
I know. I was bummed. I was excited to see it.
Well, yeah, we're working on a new movie now. We've been shooting here in Eugene for a lot of the last few months, and my wife and I wrote it, and I directed it, and we're in post now, and it's gonna be cool. And we're just starting to talk about we're announcing it. I don't know what to talk about. I haven't talked about it yet, so
perfect.
I don't know how.
When you write your own show, this is a question I always have. When you write your own show and you're directing it and you're co-producing it,
sure.
Do you write a oneer?
What do you mean?
That's
the log line?
Yeah. The log, well, the oneer is like the pitch. The pitch. So
you usually
kind of get you going.
I'm really bad at memorizing. So in a Google Doc somewhere, I have a thing that tells all about it.
I could ask you more questions.
Listen, it has a genre that I made up that has a lot of words to it. Let me see if I can get it right. It is a neon-soaked, pizza-fueled punk rock musical horror comedy.
Nice.
That's just the genre.
That's the
genre.
Wow. No, that's pretty good.
And that's all you need to know.
That sounds interesting. Almost.
Yeah.
Almost.
And it has a phenomenal cast. Like, we're punching way above our weight for the town of Eugene, Oregon. And, it's a very low budget indie film, but we're doing a lot of things to make it feel bigger and better and cooler, and it has a DeLorean in it, and it has stunts and practical effects and all the stuff that I love. But it's also a diegetic musical. It has a band in it that plays songs, which is my favorite subgenre of movie. There are approximately 1 billion sports movies and like 5 movies about bands. That's the ratio.
Wow. Yeah.
Like if you went to a video store and there would be a sports section, it would be a whole rack. And if there was a movies about bands section, it would just be 5 movies. But I'm making a 6th one.
Excellent. So you're right up there with Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks, yeah, who made my all-time favorite movie.
About the same thing.
Yeah. But Tom Hanks also has done at least 2 sports movies, so he's not helping.
Oh, you're right. At least.
I've done no sports movies.
He's done more than 2.
Yeah.
I never thought about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I think.
So when you say you were describing the type of musical it is, do people break out in song, or is the band playing?
Right.
Is it all the band that plays the song?
Yeah. So diegetic, meaning the music exists in the world of the movie and all the characters can hear it and they know that they're playing music. The difference between the score of a soundtrack, like the music in E.T. that no one can hear, that just makes you feel like you can fly, and the music that comes out of the radio that all the characters can hear.
So like American Graffiti.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which was one of the first to do that.
Yeah. I have not seen American Graffiti in 25 years.
Oh, in
I've
25
seen it,
years.
Yes.
But
I'm just like, the music cues.
The director, I can't remember the guy. He's really small. He hasn't really done anything.
I don't think he did anything after.
I don't think he did anything after. But he described it as a musical. And the people he was auditioning were like, well, I don't sing.
Right.
And, like that. So,
sure.
Yeah.
But in ours, they do sing.
They do.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's real. I very much wanted to cast people who could play instruments and sing and lean into that. And some could, some couldn't. And they would learn the instruments because it's cool. And it's a horror comedy, so it's not all sit around and play music. Sometimes it's sit around and play music in a horror movie.
That was a doorbell.
That was a doorbell.
That was not a sound effect. Oh, it's our eggs.
It's our eggs.
We are in a high-class studio, but sometimes the doorbell rings.
Guys, sometimes there's eggs. You can't escape the eggs.
Maybe she has a baby goat with her. We could go see the goat.
There's baby goats. One day we were filming this movie. Mm-hmm. We shot some of it in Cottage Grove, which is, for the people in Sweden, it's a small town about 30 miles south of here. And we were filming a car scene, so we were rigging up cameras to the hood of a car. And our actors were getting ready to do their scene. And a man starts walking down the street, and he's walking a goat. And the actors
That's just not
lost it because they're from LA. They've never seen this thing.
Not unusual. That means they never went up to horse country, which is just above LA.
We lost a little bit of time.
I lived in LA a while. To the goat. Oh, yeah. I bet.
Yeah.
The movie is famous for another film that was filmed in Eugene like 50 years ago or something. That's where they did the final parade in Animal House.
Right. The street we were shooting on, in fact, one of our main locations was also used in Animal House. And we shot another scene in the only remaining frat house from Animal House. They tore down what you think of as the Animal House.
Right.
But the one that's still there that they shot some interiors and the exteriors for the mean frat next door.
Right.
That's still there. And we did film one day there for our frat party scene. Eugene has a rich film history.
I wonder
for a
how
small
many
town
degrees of Kevin Bacon that gives you then, as he was part of that.
No,
that was his first movie.
It's one because we know people who worked on Animal House.
Well, that's true,
right?
Yeah.
So 1. But I have been on a tour of Phil Tippett's studio in the Bay Area, and they did the practical effects and some other things for a movie called Hollow Man.
Oh, yeah.
Which is Kevin Bacon as the Invisible Man. And I have held his like fake head.
Oh, wild.
So that's no degrees. Because I'm sure he has also held.
You touched his fake head.
Well, I'm sure he has also been like, "Whoa, what's this?"
Oh,
and
right.
So
right.
That's my Kevin Bacon. But I don't know. IMDb will tell you who you're connected to, and if I looked, it would tell me all the 0 degrees of Kevin Bacon that I have. I've never met him, so that's not 0.
I didn't realize that. Yeah.
Yeah, if you look somebody up and you have an IMDb, it'll tell you who else has worked on things, who you both might know. So just like Facebook does.
It's funny that we got on this because I was always kind of wondering, so what is 1 degree? And because I always thought,
I think is you both know the same person.
Okay.
0
so
is you know them.
You've met them before, you know them. So there's only a few that I'm 0 degrees from, but there's a lot of people I'm 1 degree from because of the couple of 0 degree people who were in a bunch of stuff.
Well, I get you a whole bunch.
Yeah, a whole bunch. Well, that's true. That's true. That's another whole list.
Yeah,
because you know everybody. So you said this was a small film, a small budget, but it wasn't a 0 budget film, which a lot of the films around here are. You actually did do. Was it a SAG low budget feature? Is that?
Yeah,
where it was?
It was SAG. And it was my first time doing a scripted SAG feature. Some of the documentaries were with SAG. And for those that don't know, that's the Screen Actors Guild, which is the union for actors, that's in charge of actors. And they go on strike all the time. And they don't like AI. And they, make sure that the actors get a lot of money in residuals. They're in charge of the residuals.
They try.
I know that.
Yeah.
But I've never been in a union. I don't know if ASCAP counts because it's just a society.
Right. That's
what
not
the
a
S
union.
is, right?
Yeah, they don't give you insurance, so that
they don't give you anything. They give you 14 cents every 10 years for a song you made in the 90s. But yeah, it was technically it was a SAG feature, and we had a casting team, and we had actors come in from all over. We had thousands of people audition.
Wow.
Yeah, we started the process before we knew it was going to be SAG, like well over a year before we started filming. And there's not a lot of work right now, I'm told, for actors.
I just heard this from my last podcast, who's someone who's a working stunt person.
Yeah.
And she's literally talking to people on the phone who kind of have their ear on the industry. Plus, I read the crew stories on Facebook.
Sure.
And I always wondered with the crew stories group, is it like, okay, is it LA that shut down? Or like, what does this mean? Is it people that are used to making a ton of money and they're not doing anything? But it's like, no, they have not come back. They were struggling with COVID, and then the 2 strikes, because it was a writer's strike and an actor's strike.
At the same time.
At the same time.
Yeah.
And yeah, the scuttlebutt is they think the studios are basically punishing people because they were,
that makes sense.
They were asked to pay them, and studios don't want to do that.
Well, it also
something
seems
like that.
It also seems like
really
the
sad.
pendulum might be swinging back the other way from. There was a little bit of a gold rush of what some might call too much content being made.
Right.
And, a lot of people who are sad now that there's not as much work as there was, 2018, 2019, just pre-pandemic. Well, yeah, but that might have been overinflated because that was right when we were just getting 12 streaming platforms, each one making 20 original shows and 15 movies a year and all these things. And maybe we've learned since then that there is not the demand to support that. And
I think that's part of,
also, theaters have stopped
theaters are
making money.
Right.
So where's the money coming from?
Yeah, and the theaters were still supporting everyone because the streaming services don't have to pay. I mean, they don't pay like theater releases do.
No.
You know, if you have 120 million streams, that's nothing like having 120 million people in their seats in a theater, right?
Yes.
It's nothing, it doesn't compare in any way. I mean, there's people who are on YouTube with millions of streams, millions of downloads, millions of views, who it means nothing.
I'm one of them.
Zero.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. I can put out a video right now and it can get 1 million views, and that it impacts me exactly zero. Unless somebody sees it and then goes and rents my movie, then I get $3.
Then you get $3.
Well, no, I split $3 with Amazon. So I get $1.50. And that's the landscape.
That is the landscape, exactly.
And if you're really lucky, you know, 1 million people watch it and 2 of them will rent your movie.
Right.
And that's not a made up statistic. That's
a real
2 out of 1 million is good. That's good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the other thing that has shifted in the last 10 years or so is that everything is free.
Right.
No one wants to pay for a movie or for music, or will pay for subscriptions. This is how they've tricked us all. Which is
more.
It's way more.
It's more.
If you actually count your dollars, we're paying more than we ever have. But if you say to somebody, hey, I have a movie I want to show you, it's 99 cents. They're like, no. I'll wait till it's free on one of my free things. Meanwhile, they're paying $24 for the free thing.
Well, then they're paying $200 a month for the cable to get that free thing.
Right. It all is connected.
It's right.
But if you said, I've made a TV show, it's 10 cents an episode. So 20 episodes is $2. They'd be like, no, I'll wait for it to be free. I'll wait. And now everything has added commercials back in to subsidize this free model. So we're right back where we started, in the worst possible timeline of broadcast nonsense, except that it's so fragmented and algorithmically tailored to each person that no one place can afford to support any industry. So because aside from a handful of reality shows that do really well, they can't pay crews, they can't pay actors, they could, but
that's
then they wouldn't be lining their
pockets. This is where these strikes come from. Because they can. Netflix is a massive company. Their profits have not gone down. They've gone up, and they're like, oh, but we need to raise the fee again because...
Well, they have shareholders.
What are you talking about? Because why? Yeah.
I think the underlying problem here is capitalism, and we're not going to solve that on this particular podcast.
Oh, damn it. I keep trying. Every podcast, I give it a whack.
It's possible that there probably shouldn't be shareholders in anything that is a publicly consumed anything.
Except insurance.
I don't think there should be insurance.
I mean, if there's a...
Yeah.
You mean...
The amount of money we had to spend on our little independent film on insurance is
that's
astronomical.
Unfortunate.
Yeah. I think I've made short films. I think all of my short films combined don't add up to what we had to spend on insurance.
Well, it's interesting.
And guess what? Nothing went wrong.
And nothing went wrong, thank God.
So,
but the reason,
threw the money away.
One, of course, insurance is too much. But the reason you have to insure everything is because of all the suits that have come before.
Right.
All the people that have been hurt or killed or lost their car or their house burned up because of movie crews doing their movie. Nothing wrong with what they were doing necessarily. They just
and then
lit
the
a match the
lawsuits,
wrong
which
way.
is
and then the suits. That's what costs money.
An entirely American problem,
right?
Which is part of why it's a small part, but so much of the movie industry is moving overseas.
Well, and it was going to Canada or went to Canada
for a while.
A while.
Now it's Europe mostly, and like countries I've never heard of. They're like, we found a place where you don't have to pay anybody and you can work 50-hour days, and you don't have to take breaks, and as long as they have the internet, we can do it there. So
right.
It's
that's
crazy.
not necessarily a good thing either. I still it blows my mind that just got worse and worse and worse. And
globalization.
Yeah. I just mean the industry as a whole just be getting more and more abusive the minute studios were really broken up. Because back in the days of actual studios and there were studio contracts,
right?
A 12-hour day was a lot. Like that was a big, long day.
Well, that's one thing we were really good about on this film is we had our executive producers were very adamant that we be a humane set. And so our days were not that long. 12 hours were our long days. Mm-hmm. We didn't have any 17, 16-hour days. We maybe should have. We could have had fewer days, saved a couple bucks, but we were trying to do things in a way that was a little bit more sustainable.
Right.
It was a low budget, and we weren't able to pay people full Hollywood rates, but we paid everybody. Mm-hmm. Except we did have some college interns, which is fun, and we live in a college town, and it's been great working with up and coming young people. But aside from that, we were able to pay everybody and keep the days short. And in the world of low budget indie film, that right there is a win. Like we've already accomplished something.
Big time.
I've worked on a lot of things where I've still never gotten paid.
Right.
And that's more common than not at the low budget levels. We're all doing it because we just want to make movies. And that's part of that predatory thing that you're talking about is there aren't a lot of industries, I think music, movies, any kind of art where people would do it anyway. Somebody has figured that out and said, well, wait a minute. If people are willing to do this without getting paid, we're going to figure out a way to make them do it without getting paid.
Yeah.
And that's sort of that Netflix model of as soon as they became the number one thing, they started paying less and less for their license fees.
Right.
Because you're getting, it's the privilege of being on Netflix.
Right. And
so
instead of the fact that they're making the money,
right?
It's not really a privilege. It's something they're making money off of. The whole thing is, it's just too bad. If people just were more honest about, or more, helpful humans.
It's tricky.
It's tricky.
The whole,
it's just too bad. Because I've always thought, and a lot of people use Clint Eastwood as a model. Like, if you know what you're doing, why are you doing 16 hours a day? And especially on a lot of these films, Hollywood films, not only do you have a director that knows what they're doing, usually producers don't. This is what I've heard. But you've got a director, a writer, an entire crew who's done this forever.
Right.
They know what they're doing. Do you really need to keep them there for 16 hours every day? Like maybe one day you've screwed up, you've lost many things have gone wrong.
Right.
But it just seems like you could do better.
It's always a puzzle of some actor's schedule or some location. There's always some reason, something that costs way more than everyone else's time.
Right.
That it's for some reason cheaper to stay a really long time on one day than it is to come back another day. Or you just can't get that location back. Or there's no way you're going to get that actor back for another day because they have to leave and go shoot another movie. Or it's things like that break the system. Mm-hmm. And, in the old studio model where somebody was just on salary for MGM, it didn't happen because they just had a backlot and the actor wasn't going anywhere because they lived there.
Right. Right. And you're not going to lose the location because you've locked it down.
Yeah, they could have
shooting
8-hour days because what else are you going to do? Exactly. The director lives in a hut over there.
Right over there.
Yeah.
Yep.
So those were maybe the good old days, but cigarettes and racism. So
there was that too.
Maybe
not as good. Plus, a lot came out of the studio system breaking up, like better acting and stuff.
It's debatable.
I guess it is. What do you like old movies?
Some.
Do you like old TV shows?
What's an old TV show?
Well, I've been watching Gunsmoke because
I don't like westerns.
It's on one of those free services.
Sure, yeah.
But it's not great. I wouldn't recommend it. But the compared to the westerns of the day, it's actually not bad. Like they're not as racist and sometimes even defending people.
Cool. But who plays the Native Americans?
Native Americans.
Really?
Yeah, I know. That was the first thing that I went, holy crap.
Wow.
Those are all, oh no, not the main guy, but all the rest.
Main guy's Johnny Depp.
Not the main actor. He's
Johnny
German
Depp.
or something.
Great.
He's Italian.
Oh my gosh.
And the speech is absolutely atrocious.
Sure.
But they did 32 episodes in those days.
Oh yeah.
32 episodes. The star of that show was in it went 20 seasons, which I don't understand that, but he was in every episode for 20 seasons, which is kind of amazing.
That's 1,540 episodes.
Do you have a new show that you're watching?
I mean, we just finished Hacks. I love Hacks.
Oh yeah.
Paradise is a killer show.
Yeah.
Watch From, but I'm behind a season on From because it's on MGM Plus, and I just can't with these things.
I get it.
So we get MGM Plus once a year for a month so that we can catch up on our shows, and that's the world we live in. It's the worst possible media timeline. I've been watching a lot more movies lately. I go to theaters as often as I can. I think it's been a great couple of years for movies. TV is good, but movies are really having a moment.
I went to see Hail Mary because that seemed like that's a theater movie.
Oh yeah.
And there were two other movies that I've got to see those in the theater. There was the Mandalorian one. I'm a huge fan of the Mandalorian. And the next Dune, because
sure, that's a big screen movie.
It's a big screen.
But I think every movie is a big screen movie now because it's the only, barring the fact that movie theater etiquette is completely dead and people will just yell through movies now because there's a whole generation of people who don't understand what a movie theater is. But if you get lucky and you don't have one of those in your theater, it's the last bastion of no one can bother me. My purpose for this hour and a half to 2 hours is to watch this movie.
Yeah.
I'm not going to check my email. I'm going to ignore that text. It's easier to ignore your phone in a movie theater than it is while you're driving to the movie theater.
Not for me, but yes.
But for most people.
For most people.
Right? Like if you get a text and you're driving, you probably check it at the stoplight. You get a text during a movie, I wait till the movie's over. And to me, that's like a magical thing because everything is so fast paced and stupid and online right now that the movie theater is the last good place in the world. But, I don't watch sports or go to church or any of the things that other people do. I go to the movies. So that's what I have. So just the fact that there are decent movies and original movies now that are not, the 10th sequel to a Harry Potter or whatever, there still are those, but there's
still a lot of those,
but there's some original things coming out and some cool things and some experimental things, and they're trying stuff. And I'm starting to notice, and it could just be anecdotal, it could just be where we live, but I'm starting to notice more and more people at the theaters when I'm there, which
I think
is cool.
I think that's actually happening. Yeah. They are seeing a slight bump. Well, I think it's up like 10% from last year.
That's a huge bump.
It just was way down last year, but yes, that's a big bump. And what I forget until I go to the theater is how movies generally are shot for the theater. They're shot for the theater. They're mixed for the theater. A lot of times, well, I think a lot of movies are mixed terribly. They're just hands down bad mixes. But it's worse on your TV. You know, you really, in the theater, you have a much better chance of hearing what's going on. I remember the first one I went to, I go about once a year, but this year I'm going more. And the thing that got me started was Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die.
Loved it.
Yeah.
Loved it. That's one of the ones that I'm talking about when I'm saying people are trying stuff and it's good, fun, escapist movie theater popcorn time. I'm a big popcorn fan too. So, I mean, the smell of a movie theater with the popcorn and the seats and the screen, and it's loud and it's just the best.
It's just awesome.
And I have a big TV and loud speakers, and it sucks.
It's not the same.
It's not the same.
It's not the same. I have a big, I used to have a big TV, but now every TV is really big.
Right.
Like it's not much money to get a TV much bigger than mine. So it seemed big a few years ago.
Yeah.
But and I have killer speakers, but it's never going to be like a theater. It's never like a theater. I mean, I do.
No, I mean, the main thing is we can't acoustically treat a room and black out every light except for the screen and sit right in the middle and there's no other distractions. And man, movies are neat.
Movies are cool. Maybe that's why you make them. Maybe
I do.
That is the idea.
Every once in a while I get to show one of my movies in a theater, and that's the best because I love movie theaters.
Yeah, it's really awesome seeing it. The few times I've seen the movies that I've been in, which are usually shorts and not always good, I've not wanted to see it. The theater was not the best place to see it.
Why not?
It was fun because your face is all big, and if it's not great, it's kind of amplified. Yeah. It's kind of amplified.
You'd rather watch it on like a phone.
Sure. No, that's funny because I'm still really opposed to watching things on phones unless I'm on a plane and I can't sleep. And like the phone is all I have and I'm on a longer flight. Then I'll watch something on a phone. But I really can't stand anything but TikTok shorts or something.
Right.
Not because I have screens all over the place bigger than my phone. So I'd much rather use those. Even using an iPad compared to the phone is so much, I don't know. That's too small for me. Yeah. Yeah. Because I've been around a while.
I feel you. I still can't get on board with vertical anything.
You know, who am I thinking of? There's someone on, Russell Crowe is on TikTok, and mostly he talks about his watches. He's a big watch guy.
Okay.
And he's like, he said on one of the videos, yeah, it's vertical. I'm a filmmaker. Get used to it. It's like, okay, that's kind of cool. Not vertical, but horizontal. Yeah. It's horizontal. And I thought, that's neat. I don't care about your watches, but you know, if I ever want to learn an Australian accent, this is good to watch.
I tried making, when the pandemic hit, we put the last Blockbuster on TikTok, the movie account. It did really well. And we tried making horizontal content and it would just get buried. The algorithm does not like it. Unless you're Russell Crowe, apparently.
You know,
but the computers don't like it. The viewers don't like it. And it's tiny. Like it's the horizontal is so small.
Yeah.
It's
because you can't get people to.
No, you can't get people to rotate. My favorite are the ones where they lock the video sideways, and like the first few seconds are just the rotate graphic, telling you to rotate your phone.
Telling you to do it.
And that still that I like it, but everyone still hates it. But anyway, we started making cropped for vertical videos, and it exploded. So they're really training us to ignore the fact that our eyes are spaced side by side and not above each other.
Up and down.
Yeah. This is why screens have always been horizontal.
I just had this weird picture of
A person,
robots of the future with our brains in them and our eyes.
The only reason video is vertical
bottom.
now is because they designed phones to fit in our hands this way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is, they could have put a little, I don't know how they could have designed it better, but.
Well, and they do have those cool buttons that go on the back of phones to make it better.
Yeah, if they had built those in instead of making them optional, maybe we'd have horizontal video.
Right. Maybe that would be better.
I don't know. But it just seems crazy that because our hands are shaped like this, our eyes have to suffer.
Oh, yeah.
When you watch a vertical video, you think of how much of your field of view is not the video. No matter what, it's still a sliver in your eyes. You're focused on this, but 90% of what you can see is not your phone.
Oh, that's a good point.
98%, really.
Right.
Because it's as small as that horizontal video looks in your phone screen is how small the vertical is in your field of view, because our eyes are spaced side by side. And you can see much wider than you can tall, especially if your eyes are, set into your skull at all and you have a brow. You can't see above you, but you can see way to the sides. Anyways, everything's vertical now, and all the young people think I'm stupid. So here we are.
That's interesting because even in a wider shot like I have here on YouTube, you're only getting a teeny bit. Mm-hmm. Like you're not seeing all the junk around the studio. Some, but yeah.
But in real life,
we can see the whole. I can see all the way back there.
Because that's how our eyes just work.
Crazy.
Which is why when they wanted movies to feel bigger, they came out with wider screen film formats. That's why VistaVision and all these amazing IMAX. IMAX is a little taller, but the big 70 millimeter, all these huge things, they just got wider and wider until they couldn't make them any wider. Nobody was like, how tall can we make our movie? Right. That's stupid. Because your eyes don't see taller.
No, they see round, like the early days of Star Wars. And I just saw that there's some movies coming out in this format now. They had it in surround. Mm-hmm. I forgot
That's how I saw The Mandalorian, Screen X.
Oh, no, Screen X.
And it wraps around.
Yeah. And it used to be called Surround or some. Mm-hmm. There was a theater in Hollywood that was built that way.
We have one in Eugene now.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, we have one screen in Springfield at the Cinemark. But that's how I saw The Mandalorian. It wasn't that great. They had a technical glitch where the side screens were on a slight delay.
Oh, so because it's not one screen.
It's three projectors.
Okay.
Because it's the one is the main movie, and then there's these two side shots, which I can't prove it, but I'm pretty sure all the side content is just AI generated, generative fill. Because the first movie I saw there was The Devil Wears Prada 2, and there were some scenes where it's just they've made more Stanley Tucci over here.
Oh, no kidding!
But I don't think he was there to film it. I think they told ChatGPT to make more Stanley Tucci. But you're not supposed to look at it. It's out of focus and off to the side. It's just supposed to feel bigger. And for a drone shot or in the Grogu movie flying through space, it's great. Mm-hmm. But when it's people sitting at a dinner table and they're just adding an actor that probably wasn't there, it's questionable moral. At the Sphere when they expand the Wizard of Oz and they're making dead actors do things. It's that same tech.
That's the technology I saw that sounded exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, that's where they literally are doing that. They're
Well, I think that's what they're doing with the Screen X, because
maybe it is.
If you look at the behind the scenes, it's not like they have two more cameras filming for this obscure format that no theaters have. Why would they do that?
Well, and as much as I wanted to see Gone with the Wind, the Wizard of Oz at the Sphere, I thought, maybe I'll hate it though. Because they worked really hard on that movie to get what they got. And now you're just kind of, oh, that's okay. We're just going to mess it all up.
It's really interesting because, a very talented human decided what would be within the bounds of the frame.
Right.
And then they were like, but what if they didn't?
That's kind of What if that guy was just an idiot? And it really wasn't one. It was many talented humans, right?
Oh,
I mean, from your storyboard artist to your cinematographer to your production designer, they're all like, this is how it's going to look.
This is the shot.
There.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
it's kind of
the AI was like, what if you could look in every direction?
That's just it.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a weird time.
The original ones where I saw Star Wars, the second time I saw it, it was in Portland, and it had one of these wraparounds. They were just using 70 millimeter film, I'm pretty sure. They were just showing a 70 millimeter print.
Yeah.
And, because it was just amazing.
Well,
but you had to turn your head a little bit to see the whole thing.
Yeah, they had one I think it was at OMSI.
Yeah.
That was...
yeah, that's right.
It was also very tall, and the seats were like stadium crazy, like vertically stacked, like you were in a soccer stadium or something. I saw one of the Superman movies in there, and it was crazy. It was wrapped around you, and then some shots were maybe shot for the weird IMAX format, but they would also go like floor to ceiling, and it'd be like 200 feet tall and wrapped around the side. It was very cool, but that's not even a movie theater. That was a science museum.
Right.
OMSI.
Right.
For the Sweden people, we have a science museum called OMSI in Portland, Oregon.
Yeah, I'm starting to think you don't believe there's people in Sweden that listen to the...
I really hope there are, because I'm talking to you.
We are. The reason, it's funny, I heard early on when I started putting up stuff on YouTube, which is, the video goes to YouTube, the rest of the audio goes everywhere. And I heard that from someone who did a mostly Hispanic podcast, but it was a podcast about podcasting.
Great.
And she said, I put it on YouTube because, in some parts of the world, that's all they have. Mm-hmm. And it's
the number one streaming platform in the world.
Yeah. So I think, wow, so maybe one person sees it on YouTube and they couldn't see it anywhere else.
Do you get the analytics, right? It'll tell you which countries people...
I can.
For YouTube, yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I can. It's I don't dig down too deep into it because there's just not enough to look at, to be quite honest. One day.
One day,
perhaps there'll be more, but yeah.
That's really fun for me. With the Lost documentary, when it came out, we put it on Vimeo because that's one of the only indie film friendly video on demand platforms where you can, charge $1.99 and you actually get the money.
Oh, see, that's
not
awesome.
Like Amazon or any place else.
Isn't it better quality also than YouTube?
It can be, yeah. You can control that. And you can also include bonus features.
Oh, wow.
So like Amazon won't let you give somebody an outtakes reel or anything, nothing. But on Vimeo, you can be like, this comes with 20 more videos if they rent it. It's great.
Oh, cool.
But it was available there first, and we would see the data, and I screenshotted it once just to share with the other producers, and it was in like something like 48 countries people had watched the movie. Wow. And I don't know if that's bots or AI or whatever, but it felt cool because I can't name that many countries.
It's probably real.
I didn't do good at geography.
Probably real. There's a lot of countries.
There's
a lot of countries, and yeah,
I could name like 8 probably.
I do my little flight simulator. Sweden. That's what I do. My flight simulator stream, and we go around the world and fly planes in the simulator, little planes, and almost every day, someone is from that spot.
That's cool.
And I mean, we've been to Switzerland, Sweden.
Do they know
Australia.
You're going there beforehand?
They might if they look at the freaking label, but usually they just see us. They're like, see it on screen and go, cool. Hey, I'm from right down the street.
Then they wave.
And yeah, they wave. Probably do. Yeah.
That's cool.
It's pretty wild. Pretty wild. But so, yeah, people watch from everywhere. And it's
a small world.
It really is now. It's kind of like, if only there was a way to steer things the other way rather than how it seems to be dividing us.
Yeah.
Because it is a small world, and we are literally all connected. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. But it's interesting as a creator, and you must feel some version of this, but for me, the abstract, you put out something, a movie, a podcast, a piece of music, and you put it on the internet, and there'll be a number tied to it, which I don't like, because it's like, oh, your value is the number of views this got, or the number of likes this thing got, or the number of or your Rotten Tomatoes score. Don't look at mine. Your audience score, whatever. But some of the numbers could be huge numbers. I think 500 is a big number to look at a thing I made. Sometimes it's 500,000. That's not a real number.
Huge number.
Yeah. I mean, I've had millions of people watch stuff that I do, but that's not a real thing. Like, I can't picture that. Anything over like 1,000 people, I can't visually imagine that many people existing in a space or anything.
Oh, I see. Right.
So it's just nonsensical. You think about like a TikTok person who's like, well, my last TikTok got 26 million views and 5 million likes. And you're like, what is that? What is that?
It's probably nothing. I mean, I've talked to some people. I've had people on the podcast that have videos with millions of views, whether they were comedians or whatever. And I say that. I'm saying, so, what's it like to have a video out there with 5 million views? And they say, it's like having a video out there with 1 million views. It really doesn't
that's what I'm
mean
saying.
Anything.
The thousands, like anything over 1,000 is fake to me. Like, I'm sure it's real people who really saw a thing, but it's not a real. It's abstract. It's like
abstract.
You might as well say it was 1 million hippopotamuses, or like a million blades of grass looked at this thing, because it's not a reasonable thing to think about. But then the flip side of that I hope we're trending back towards is the in-person, the real community enjoyment of art and creativity, because of things like AI and just horrible $500 million nonsensical studio films that soak up all the energy in the world, that, this is the only thing in the movie theaters and blah, blah, blah. But, once everything is this homogenized, made by computers nonsense, then the only thing that matters is something that you can prove was made by a human. And the only way to prove that's made by a human is to watch a human make it, right?
That's interesting.
So we're, I think, going to trend back towards live theater, live music, in-person film screenings. Go see a movie, and maybe the actors or director are there, do a Q&A. Then that's a real memorable thing. And then you have maybe 40 people there. That thing with those 40 people, to me, is so much cooler and so much more important than 40 million fake imaginary hippopotamuses. That's, to me, I hope that's the way we're heading, but everybody's still grasping for the millions and now probably billions. There's videos on YouTube with billions of views.
Right, billions.
That has happened now.
Yeah. And those people do make a dime or two.
They do.
They do make a dime or two. The weird thing is that I look at my videos that have barely any views, and I had one video that has over 1 million, which is a squirrel.
Great.
Talking in a funny voice.
Fantastic.
But it's a real squirrel. And then, but it was like, okay, it was really exciting when it happened, because it went viral. And I always was like, I don't believe
not every day
something.
You see a talking squirrel.
Not every day. And except on TikTok. You do see it every day. But I've always thought, well, nothing, people say they have viral videos and they're full of it. And if it's not over 1 million, it's not viral.
Right.
And it was like, wait a minute, this is getting there. Anyway, and then, after that wore off, it was like, okay, really all this means is that someone clicked on it for, I think, 1 to 3 seconds.
There's a threshold.
That's really all it means.
And then
it
scroll
depends.
past.
And then that's really all it means. It didn't make out of a 1.1, it got like 200 followers.
Yeah.
Which is like,
those
okay,
ratios are insane.
Which means most people, I don't think it's being paused on for another second or something, which is
right.
And then there's the other side where I look at stuff that I put up, which I'm hoping people will. I don't know. It's silly for me to even look at numbers, and thankfully on my stream I stopped because on the live stream it's a bad thing. So I finally got to where I would just look at OBS, didn't look at the numbers, didn't look at what was going on unless someone told me there was a problem, and it's become. Someone was saying to me, well, if you've got 10 people watching. Can 10 people fit in the room that you're in?
Right.
Can you get 10 people in there? Yeah. I'm like, no. And so you got 20 people watching. Does your house hold, is that going to all fit in your house?
If you set up a microphone in the middle of a park and 20 people showed up, you'd feel like you'd accomplished something.
Psyched.
Yeah. And then, I love thinking about it in those terms. And that's that's literally the analogy where my brain caps out at 1,000. Where I'm like, more than that.
Right.
I can't, the imaginary picture doesn't get bigger. It's not more people. It's just the most people I can picture.
Which is interesting because if you play in front of a crowd of 1,000 people, which I have, you can't see them.
Correct. I've done it too.
You only know that's there.
I've played for 1,000 people, and I think the biggest crowd I've played for 20,000 people. I played for 12,000 people, and then I played a bunch of shows for 1,000 to 2,000 people. The only reason I can tell the difference is because the 1,000 rooms are indoors.
Right.
There's a wall at the back, so you can tell. But the difference between outdoors and a festival setting or something, the difference between 1,000 and 20,000 is how good is your vision? The ants get this much smaller and they can maybe hear you and they can't see you. I can't see them.
Yeah.
It's wild. And then every once in a while, it's also televised. And you're like, well, also 1 million people watched it on TV. And you're like, well, okay. That doesn't exist. That's not a real thing. Nothing is real. The fake numbers. I don't think I've seen 1 million people in my life.
Oh, maybe not. Well, you've been to LA a few times.
Yeah, but it's not like I go...
I just mean cumulatively.
Right.
You may have seen
I think if I was the type of person who went to a lot of big concerts and a lot of sports, I might have seen... 1 million is so many, right? A big stadium holds what? 100,000 people? 200?
A huge stadium. Our stadium is big in college, for a college stadium, and it holds 60,000 people.
Right.
Maxed out.
So if that was full, and you got to think that if you go there every week, it's mostly the same people.
Right.
You're not seeing new people.
Well, the other team, I guess.
Sure. How many? Sure.
But
Let's say 2/3 of them are new people every time. So you're seeing 40,000 new people a week. You know how many weeks you'd have to go for 40,000 to add up to 1 million?
Well, I guess so.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot of football games. It's more than anyone I know has been to.
And somewhere, I don't know, some scientist was talking about what our mind can conceive, and we can't really. That's too big a number.
Right.
1 million is. So that's an actual thing that, more than, because you're not going to count to 1 million, for instance. If you sit there and try and count to 1 million, you're not going to do it.
Can't do it.
So it's true. Your mind literally is
and yet on the flip side,
that's too much.
On the flip side, with inflation, $1 million is not what it used to be. You can barely buy a house anywhere in the country. So 1 million people is now the low threshold for something being good, and $1 million is now the low threshold for
living comfortably,
living somewhere,
being able to send your kids to college.
A millionaire.
And stuff.
We still use that term, which is funny to me. Of it would be great to. Who wants to be a millionaire, right?
Right. Right.
It's it's not like you could retire if you had $1 million. You'd need many more millions of dollars. Like the cost of living in most states. I guess there are plenty of places in the world where it's a lot of money.
But I think they leave out the fact that if you have $1 million,
I guess if you just
you're going to have an income.
Yeah, if you just had it.
If you had that, yeah.
Right.
Because I have half that amount, but it's in things.
Right.
You know, it's because I own a house.
Right. And a cool drum set.
Other stuff.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. But then you think of like deflated currencies. You go places, there's some currencies in the world where like a nice dinner will cost $1 million of something.
Oh, right.
And you're like, I don't understand what has happened. And they have to wrap their heads around those numbers all the time.
And that's all just, those kind of things are crazy because...
Just drop a zero, man.
And it's all just made up anyway, right? Our money was always made up. I mean, we took it from shells and stones to paper, to coins, and then paper.
Shinier stones.
Shinier and shinier. And now it's not even that. Like,
it's based on nothing.
It's based on nothing. And we literally, most of the time, I don't touch money. I don't actually use the cash unless I go on vacation or something, or I'm paying the nice egg lady who can.
I keep forgetting that we've done away with the penny.
Oh, right.
And I see.
Well, we're not making anymore. It's growing. And we
so
just
people are phasing it out. And like things don't end in 99 as much as they used to.
Which always drove me nuts. Anyway.
Right. It's a psychological experiment that's been going on since the 1800s or something, where they're like, what if it was less?
What if
without being less?
Yeah, like the price of cars are still that way. $10.99.99.
Yeah, which to me sounds like a bigger number than 11.
It's kind of funny, huh? Yeah.
That's so many nines, you guys.
There's some sales marketing thing from ages ago. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, we do that with movies. We us indie film people who are in the know, we try to keep the run times down. So if it's like. If it can be 1 second under like the next 10-minute mark, you always try to get it there, because like 49 minutes and 59 seconds is a way shorter film than a 50-minute film. It's not, but it looks because the first number is smaller.
Oh, interesting.
So it's the same psychology,
right?
Especially like short films for festivals. Like if you can get that first number to be a lower number, you get more program spots. It's so stupid, but can't have 100-minute movie, but you can have a 99-minute movie in 59 seconds.
Oh my gosh.
It's the same length movie, but it looks a lot better when people are scrolling and picking out, well, I don't have 100 minutes to spare.
You know what I don't think we've done here? Speaking of movies.
Yeah.
What is the new movie?
Oh,
does it have a name?
Yeah. It's not done yet. It's currently titled Eat Your Heart Out.
Oh, it's a working title?
Well, maybe.
Oh, okay.
It's not done.
You're not sure.
You have to do a thing called a title report in indie film, which means you pay money for somebody else to Google it and see if you're allowed to use it.
I love that concept. You pay money for someone else to use
Yeah, they don't
Google.
trust that I Googled it, which I did. We had to do it for Getting Lost. We did it, and they were like, well, yeah, there's been like 5 movies called that. Of course there have. It's a very common phrase. But none of them were a documentary. One was a documentary about somebody who got lost in the woods or something like that. But I don't know, it was determined that it was different enough and it wouldn't be confused. The whole thing is, would it be confused for this other person's thing? Like, you can't make a movie called Back to the Future.
Oh, but that's interesting, because a friend of ours did make a movie with the same name as another movie, and that's why it's got over 500,000 hits on YouTube.
Right.
And on
YouTube,
and he even knows that.
On YouTube, it's the Wild West. They don't play by these rules. But if you want a distributor to take it seriously, or you want to put it up on Amazon or anything like that, you have to do a title report. It's part of the thing. Or if you want to get insurance, errors and omissions insurance, and pay more money, you have to get a title report. So you pay someone else to Google your thing and tell you that there are other things called that thing, and then a lawyer decides whether that's okay or not, and whether you have to change it. And they look at your logo. Is it too similar to another logo? And that's the world we live in. And it's just risk mitigation and legal mumbo jumbo. And
Yeah, and you even are, oh, yeah. Nowadays, you're supposed to trademark everything.
Sure.
Like all my stuff is. So don't steal it, anyone. Or I'll quit. What, do you have a lawyer that you use?
Yes.
Like a regular lawyer? And do you have a promo person?
What's a promo person? Like a publicist?
Yeah.
No, I have a me.
All right. That's what I thought.
When you're an indie person, I mean, I only recently found a lawyer that I like working with more than once. We don't have a team. There are people we work with, but for jobs like social media and publicity and accounting and the parts of the job that you can possibly do yourself, we have to. Right. Otherwise, you know, the $8 we make in a month, we would be giving away to somebody else, and then we would have $0. And that's an exaggeration, but not by that much. So it's a huge part of the job now of any art form, and you definitely know this because you do art, is self-promotion and social media and bookkeeping and whatever else. Like, as an indie filmmaker, maybe 15% of my job in a good month is indie filmmaking. The rest is nonsense. Yeah, I love podcasting. So it would be a dream. My dream is to be able to pay people to do some of the jobs, because in 124 guests now, some of them are the same person. One of them has said, "Oh yeah, I know about post-production. Like, I get it. You know, I know about post-production." Yeah, more and more people are understanding that it's not going to come out tomorrow, because there's a lot to do once I've hopefully did I record this? Yeah. I'm currently in post-production on a feature film, which is, no offense, takes a little bit longer than a podcast. Oh boy, yeah. Because there's, a little bit more to it. We have to get the title cleared. But yeah, there was a time not that long ago when you could just be a filmmaker or a musician or a writer or a photographer. That's gone. Unless you're at the tippy top and somebody else is doing all the things for you, you have to do 10 jobs if you want to do one job. And that's bad. It's hard. It makes it very difficult. And it's not like I have a huge workload. It's just that whenever I do a piece of it, I'm like, oh wait, but I still have to do this and this and this. Right. I can't put it out yet, or it's still missing, whatever. Right. Yeah. Well, there's a million things. Just little things. And the thing about any creative project that I've learned is that unless you can afford to hire the best people, no one is going to put the effort in that you're going to put in to your own thing. No one's going to care about my movie as much as I do. Right. So if I can put in an extra 40 hours, I will. And if I had to pay somebody, first of all, it would take them 60 hours because they're not going to care as much. Mm-hmm. And that's so much money because I work for free, theoretically. So the difference between, me doing that work and somebody else is not just monetary. It's also, I'm going to try harder, because for me, if it fails, it's life or death almost. And for somebody that I could afford to hire, probably minimum wage, maybe, they're probably not going to care if it fails. And I think that's true. I clicked on the wrong thing. I think that's true at every level. Yes. It's not like if you were, being paid or making a huge amount of money to do your movies, you would probably still want to do
a lot of things you're talking about. Maybe not the promotion and stuff, but you're still going to be the one who cares the most about the movie.
But if there was a budget, you just find somebody who's really good at the thing that you were about to go spend 40 hours doing, and you pay them to do it, and you give them clear instructions. That's how, the $100 million movies do it. When they make a Deadpool movie, it's not Ryan Reynolds coming up with those viral TikToks.
What?
It's not. What? I hate to break it to you.
Oh, Christ.
It is a team of hundreds of very skilled social media people who are all getting paid pretty well.
However, from what I understand, the guy works hard.
Oh, yeah. Well, he has 9 different beverage companies.
Yeah, he's still the one who probably cares the most about that movie.
Well, he definitely
It took him 10 years to make the first one, which always blows my mind when...
And he finally admitted that it was him that leaked the footage.
Oh, shocking.
Yeah. No one, we're all going to keel over and die from not surprised.
Really? Really? Yeah.
But, no one's ever going to care if it's your thing. If it's the thing you care about, it's on you to care about it.
Right. Yeah.
That's true whether you're, growing a garden or painting a painting or raising a child. I don't know.
Painting a painting is a good example because a lot of the most expensive paintings in the art world now, and probably this has always been true, the artist made no money.
Right.
It didn't give them, they made nothing financially on this when they were painting these paintings.
Yeah, usually it's after they've died.
Right.
Which I can only assume all of my movies will make a fortune as soon as I die. Just as soon.
Well, this is, I think I'm going to make this one of my last questions because we've been here a minute and I really appreciate your time. And obviously you are
yawning and stretching.
We are ready to move.
I got to go back to work.
So, do you want to make bigger budget movies? Is it a goal of yours to get bigger budgets, try and get money behind films?
That's a great question. My wife, who is a producer and co-wrote this last one with me, and I have talked about this at great length because there is a divide. With more money comes more rules, feels like. If you make a movie for $0 and everyone is just working on it because they think it's cool, it sucks because no one's getting paid and it's difficult. But no one's there for the paycheck and you can do whatever you want because there's no union and there's no insurance. You're certainly not playing by the labor laws, so you don't have to have that 30-minute lunch break in the middle of the day and stop the cool shot you're about to get. And all of that is quote unquote bad. You shouldn't do that. You shouldn't not pay people and you shouldn't not do that. But we're also talking about doing art for art's sake, which is what the Latin thing around the lion movie logo means.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
MGM is
yeah. Which they haven't done in 100 years, but you could do art for art's sake. If there's no money, then there's no rules. And every dollar feels like it comes with a box you have to stay within. And I've made movies for very low money with very few boxes, and I've made movies for more money, more boxes. And it does feel like there is a point at which the amount of money fixes it. Like if you have a big enough budget, it's easy to play by all the rules because you can afford all the toys and all the time and all the best people. And it's great. You can, do those 10-hour days and get everything you need, and you get an extra day if you need it. And let's have the very best catering and the very best production designers and all the best locations and let's build a set. Who cares? We can do whatever. That would be cool. But to get to there, in my estimation, I don't know anyone personally who has done this. I've met J.J. Abrams. I don't know him. But, you know, to get to there from where I'm making movies, which is at the very bottom end of some money, lots of boxes, lots of rules, because as soon as you pay anybody, you have to play by all the rules. So there's a minimum threshold, right? So now we're a legitimate thing. It's a company. We have to pay the taxes, get the insurance, take the breaks, do all the things. To get from there to where there's enough money to where that's not difficult, I don't think I'm going to live long enough. Like, you'd have to have an astronomical hit, like the Backrooms, the YouTube kid, right?
Oh,
the number one movie in the world right now, probably still when this comes out, was made with a lot of money and a lot of support from what used to be the little guys, but now the biggest movie studios in the world, because they saw a YouTube guy who had a lot of success, and they hitched their wagon to that train. I don't know metaphors, but they, you know, they were like, oh, okay. I mean, that's the one commonality with all these young indie filmmakers who are getting a lot of support from the big studios, is that they already have an audience that's coming with them. They have tens of millions of fans already. And so they get to jump this chasm of lots of rules, not enough money.
Right.
His first feature is, I don't know what the budget was, but it was plenty of money for what they wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying it wasn't difficult. Every movie is difficult. You always don't have enough time. You always don't have enough money. But the level, when you're multi-millions, it's different than when you're talking about tens of thousands and you don't have enough money. Because then it's like, oh, yeah, actually, do I just sell a car? How do we get there? You know, do I sell a kidney? We can't get to 1 million from zero, but you can usually get to 8 million from 6 million. That's easier for some reason.
I know, it's weird, isn't it?
It's very weird.
It's weird.
So I think the answer is I would love to be at that. It's not even that big of a level. I'm talking about like a $10 million movie.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to make a $1 million movie first, and somebody has to let you.
Right.
There are gatekeepers, right? I don't play the lottery, so I'm not going to win the lottery. So I can't just pay for my own $1 million movie. And believe it or not, independent documentaries don't make that much money, so it's never going to...
And that's unfortunate.
Well,
that's unfortunate. They
make some money, and I don't have to work at, Dairy Mart, so that's nice. But the jump from, a micro budget indie feature to a $10 million film is either crazy luck because the micro budget hit really well and somebody said, here, would you like to make a $10 million movie or a $20 million movie? Which, by the way, they don't make anymore. They make $1 to $2 million movies and they make $70 million movies.
This is true. As you were saying that, yeah, those movies, those $10, $20 million movies, which we used to see a lot of.
Yeah.
In the days of Easy Rider and after, those really don't exist. That's the
90s, the 80s and 90s were, most movies were in that range. And it's because VHS and DVD, you could make that much money back easily.
Right.
So it didn't have to be a hit in theaters and it didn't have to make all that money opening weekend. Now a movie only gets one weekend in theaters to make all its money back. And if it doesn't, it's a failure. Which is insane.
That is insane. Yeah.
What?
And the fact that you touched on this in that talking about the different money levels. It's always crazy to me when someone has, here's $150 million budget. you still hit those roadblocks where, we need another 10 million. It seems mind-boggling. And for me, I always thought, well, who did that budget? Like, who took that script and said, this isn't going to cost 147 million. This is going to cost 150 million, or this is going to, this 100 million movie, we really need 150 to make this 100 million.
And now we're getting back into unfathomable fake numbers.
Right.
Which
even for the people putting them out there. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I like a beautiful, big budget Hollywood movie as much as the next person, probably more. I don't know that I can fathom how to spend that much money. Well, I'm not the guy. If you said, here's $100 million, make me a Star Wars, I would make you $10 million Star Wars movies.
I don't know. I think you could get help. I think there would be lots of people willing to help you spend I could
pay people a lot. You can give, Ryan Reynolds $10 million just to be in it.
Well, it's interesting because we were talking about
10% of your budget right there.
We were talking about The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
This guy's an independent filmmaker.
Yeah.
I mean, he started out as a small, making movies on his own with his friends. And
you're talking about
Jon Favreau?
Yeah. I mean, kind of.
There was
Swingers
before Swingers too. They were making movies in their backyard before Swingers. Kind of like Little Richie Cunningham. They didn't. He didn't just start out with Iron Man, and Iron Man they thought he was out of his freaking mind.
Right.
Which is just crazy to think about.
Yes.
But that's where I always got confused. How did this guy go from Swingers to saying, yeah, I think I need $100 million to make a movie about a superhero with an actor that's not really doing that well right now. And it's kind of wild. I don't know the numbers,
but I don't think Iron Man was 100 million. I think it was a lot cheaper.
It was way more than they were spending on Marvel films at the time.
Yeah, it was the first real budget Marvel movie, but it was a gamble. But I mean, I think a lot of it, first of all, a lot of it is above the line, which is sad. So there's producers and directors and name actors who are getting paid astronomical amounts of money, before any craftsperson who works on the movie is getting paid.
That's always interesting too. Yes.
There's a chunk of the budget that's just for six people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's
like
wild.
When Tom Cruise is in your movie. Well, okay, it's just the actor is going to be your $50 million. Right. Just the actor. And then what comes with that? Well, that's another $50 million because he's not going to make a $10 million movie.
Right.
It's interesting. That's the part of the inside of Hollywood that's and the people on those movies could be making what they made on the last movie they did for, what did we say, 70 million.
Right.
They're probably making the same money. The ones doing what I call the work.
Yeah, the people who make the movie.
Yeah, the people who make the movie.
No, it's really unfortunate that it's so out of balance. And it's very similar to, I don't know much about it, but the way sports works, it's the person who the people are paying to go see.
Right.
The name on the jersey, the face on the T-shirt. They dictate, the players make more than the coaches. The actors make more than the directors. Whoever it's all whoever the consumer associates with the thing.
Right.
Because if they walk away, the consumer doesn't buy the thing. And so there's capitalism, right?
Yeah.
And that's a bummer, but I think Hollywood is due for a reckoning because it's a controversial statement, but I don't think any movie needs to cost $100 million. There's no reason.
Well, and there's probably literally no reason because, like you said, a lot of that is money going to line people's pockets, you know, and if you.
But you can easily structure it as like those same people could get a percentage of the earnings. That's how us indie folks do it. Like I don't get paid, but I own a chunk of the movie and I'm above the line. So, if there was money, I could get paid up front and it would seem like the budget was huge.
Right.
Make a $10,000 movie, or I could pay myself $50,000 to make it. And now it's a $60,000 movie.
True.
Or I could just earn the first $50,000 that it makes.
Yeah.
I make the same amount of money, but the budget for the movie is astronomically different. Guess what? The movie is the same. The movie has not changed. So you could deflate all these budgets very easily and just be like, hey, Tom Cruise, instead of $50 million, how about you just own 20% of this thing? And that's how he does the Mission Impossibles. He owns those movies.
Right.
But, you could do that across the board. And the problem is people got burned too many times, and Hollywood accounting have figured out how to not pay people any of those residuals. And so no one does that. So everyone has to get paid up front, and the budgets get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And so no one trusts anybody. You can't do it that way.
Right. I forget about that whole practice of, no, this didn't make any money.
Right. So some of the biggest movies of all time have not, quote unquote, not made any money.
Not
I think
made money. Yeah.
There's famous examples, but it's crazy because they take loans out against themselves, or they, the studio pays for a marketing thing and charges it to a different movie, or they rent something, but it's from themselves, but
oh, right.
Paramount owns this, but they also own this, and this movie had to rent it from here and blah, blah, blah. And then Paramount keeps all of the money. They're just moving it back and forth so that the movie makes $0. So they don't have to pay residuals to any of the people who worked on it. And now, now Netflix is starting to get in the game and pay residuals, kind of. And we'll see how any of that works. But it's also a crazy model because it's not like the people who manufacture cars get a residual every time that car is resold.
Right.
They don't even get one the first time it's sold. They just get paid to make the car. And if you just paid everyone a living wage, that's universal basic income is what I'm saying. Just pay everybody. We can all just make art. No one would,
That's an interesting thing about the car industry, because they do just sell the car once, and then
but it keeps selling.
It keeps selling and making money for dealerships.
Yeah, and no one gets a piece of that every time. But the movie gets sold over and over and over again. It's sold to Netflix. Now we're going to move it to Hulu. Now we're going to move it to Paramount Plus. And every time it changes hands, theoretically, the guy who played waiter number 4 gets 50 cents.
Right.
And somebody has to track that. And these accounting firms that get paid more than the guy who played the waiter to track who gets the 50 cents. It's all crazy. It doesn't make any sense. I don't understand it. Just make it fair. Take half of the money from all the $100 million movies and make 50 better movies. But it does seem like we're starting to do that. There are better movies coming out by indie filmmakers that are getting attention. So it's all happening.
And the fact that the kid who, I think he got 1 billion views on the little short that he did, that he turned into that movie.
Mm-hmm. Backrooms.
Mm-hmm. The fact that that's possible is pretty cool, but it's still not happening all the time or anything.
It's one person.
It's one person.
It's the, in the 90s, it was Kevin Smith, Quentin Tarantino, and Robert Rodriguez.
Right.
At Sundance. And you're like, yeah, that happened. But those are 3 people out of 50,000 filmmakers that tried it. Maybe more.
Yeah.
And then with YouTube, I think there's 2 right now. 3, because there was the guy who booked all the theaters too. So there's like 3 pretty successful, like young social media people who have had movies do well in the last 6 months. That's cool. But I don't know if you know how many social media people there are.
Billions.
Yeah, so that's 3 out of billions.
Billions.
It's 3.
Billions.
Have had successful feature films. It seems cool, it seems good, but the odds are even worse than they were in the 90s when we called it the lottery ticket mentality of like, maybe your indie film could win Sundance and change your whole career. But it's happened to like literally 2 people, and we all just keep going, it could happen to me.
Right. That was there's a lot of circumstances that made those things happen. I mean, the fact that they got in to Sundance somehow, they were, they were noticed and they got there. And
well, it was a different time. It was a lot harder to make a movie at all, let alone a good movie.
Right.
And a lot fewer people submitted to Sundance and blah, 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 blah. And now, I mean, the beauty of what's happening now is that it is becoming a little bit more of a meritocracy, because there's so much noise and there's so much content being uploaded. I just read some crazy unfathomable number that was, like 700 million hours of footage is uploaded every day or something.
It's an amazing amount.
It's staggering.
Yeah.
And it's unfathomable and you can't picture it. But if you think about what it would take for anything to go viral, for a squirrel video to get 1 million views, it beat out 1 billion other videos that day.
Right.
So it was better or more popular.
So it was only 500,000.
Okay.
Million.
Only 500 million. But no, that's not true, because you can count it across all platforms. It was still in the top 5% of videos that day, right, across all social media.
Right.
So these kids who are getting movie careers, to some extent, they earned it, because it has to be a meritocracy when you're talking about having something stand out in that crowded of a marketplace. When you're making a YouTube video and you just upload it, and the same time you uploaded it, a million other videos were uploaded that same hour. If more people watch yours, you must have done something interesting or something right. Or you made an impact somewhere else and you were a Kardashian. I don't care, but there's something to it that's more more talent based than random. There has to be, unless it's a squirrel video. I'm saying if you made the thing, if you like wrote a script and shot a film, not if you pointed a camera at a dog that threw up, then you're like, okay, that is random.
Yeah.
But these folks who are making films and putting them up there and standing out somehow, it gives me hope.
Yeah, and there's some great stuff out there that people are doing as short form videos and getting attention. It's kind of amazing. I forgot what the name of the guy in the office was. I thought it was something. I can't remember the guy's name. He's this really kind of geeky guy, and he's always being caught doing nothing in his office, and it's become really popular. I mean, they're little 30-second videos.
And that's the beauty too, is like the formats have changed too, to where people are inventing new types of media all the time.
Right.
Like, I'm going to make a character and I'm going to make 9-second videos where my character does this thing.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do it right, that's a whole career.
It's pretty.
And you've just invented a medium, a format of this cool thing that wasn't possible 10 years ago,
right?
5 years ago.
Yeah, not at all.
And now, this is pretty cool. Meanwhile, Hollywood is crumbling and everything sucks, but there's hope.
There's hope.
Movies are neat.
Let's end it on that.
Yeah,
there's hope. Cool. All right, I'm just going to say thank you. Thanks so much.
Thanks
for being here. Can't wait to see what the title of your new movie is.
Eat Your Heart Out. It's called Eat Your Heart Out.
Eat Your Heart Out.
We'll do the title report and we'll keep it no matter what.
It'll be great. It'll be great. Okay, this is good. Well, you've been listening to Were You Still Talking? This is, I'm Joel, and in the studio today is Taylor Morden. He
Hi.
is a director extraordinaire. As you've heard, if you didn't hear, go back and listen again about 1 million times. See if you can listen to it 1 million times. At least leave a follow or something.
Leave the video on repeat and go to a movie.
Oh, that's a really good idea.
Except this was longer than a movie. Train an algorithm to keep playing the video over and over again.
And when you come back from the movie, then you can see what you missed.
Yeah.
Right.
And if you're
Excellent.
in Sweden, say hi in the comments.
Absolutely. All right. Be good to each other and be good to yourselves, especially. Also.
Fun times. Ugh.